guys, yet again, we have another request. I'm so thankful for the comments. You guys have no idea. And this one is how to make the type of phaser where it kind of looks like old movie theater lights, you know, like they're like popping and they're kind of chasing, but there's like a bunch of them chasing like that. I don't even know if my hands are explaining it well. But anyway, that was the request. So we're just going to take a quick look about how to build that together. I'm going to grab my all wash group here. I just needed more lights in the spots in a line, and I thought this was cool because it kind of like, you know, there's a bunch of lights spread out on the floor and above. And I got put them in this base look here so we had something to work with. And I'm going to set my first step to be on, and my second step to be off. Now this is going to need to be a bit of a chase here, so I'm going to grab all my steps by pressing the Select All Steps button in the bottom right of the encoder toolbar. I'm going to go to phaser steps, and then I'm going to set the transition to 0, right? I'm going to make this a chase. I don't want this to pop on and off. And then I want to make sure that measure is set to 2. There we go. And step 1 itself is going to need to be a lot smaller, but I'm going to set my phase to 0 through 360 first, right? I only want one light to come on at a time. So let's pop down here to our width of step 1. And I'm going to roll this width encoder down until I have just one light on at a time. Perfect. Okay. So now I have a chase with the one light, and now we want it to look a bit like the movie theater marquee lights when they're chasing. And this is done with our friend groups. So if I pop in here to a matrix, actually I want to be able to play with a matrix while looking at all of the 3D windows. So let's go to common. Let's grab the matrix editor and put it there. Okay, so groups is what we want to play with. So groups is, if you remember from our like basics of explaining everything, is like you're playing, you're out in a field when you were a kid, right? And you're playing a game and you got to pick teams and you're saying you're on team 1, you're on team 2, you're on team 1, you're on team 2. Like that's what we're doing with groups, except we can have more than 2 teams. So 2 groups is going to look like this. That's not quite the effect that we're going for. 3 groups gets us a little closer, but I think the speed is just a little too slow. So let's ramp this up to 90 and we get our speed. Maybe our width needs to be just a little bit wider. So let's just ramp our width up just a bit here. There, I think that works. And then we just kind of got to ramp. Oh, way too fast. Don't roll that encoder with your mouse. But your groups might need to go up to 4 to get the look you're going for. This is a little closer because my lights are divisible by 4, so it looks pretty good. Groups of 5 also might look kind of nice as well. So at this point, now it's just going to come down to like how many groups do you want? Like is your marquee a 3 or a 4 or a 5 chase marquee? I don't know. And then you're kind of applying that to your spots or whatever fixtures you're using. So anyway, this is the basics here. We'll go ahead and store this as a template phaser, and look, it can store universally. So this is great. So now this is something that I can use with all kinds of different groups of fixtures. Anyway, thanks for coming to Phaser Friday. I hope this answers your question, and we'll talk next week.